All right, so we've selected our images. We're ready to do the other parts of the project. There was one I left that I forgot about, was this one. So um, this is this layer here. I'll just move to the top and select that out too. Again, just using the magic erase tool, just click on that background and it's all ready for me to go. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use different color overlays, the Puppet Warp tool, and some very few other tools for this project. So you're not going to learn too many tools. I want you guys to get familiar with the tools we're using and use them over and over, so then you get comfortable with them and not just introduce so many tools that you can't learn them all. So one of the tools we're going to use is going to be the Puppet Warp tool. Now the Puppet Warp tool, if I go to my draft layer, this draft layer right there, select it, I don't want all my drafts to look the same. And so whatever one I choose to be with the well, actually, let me go to the small one. I'll click on the small one. Now I'm going to move his neck so he's slightly has his neck down. And what I'll do there is I'll go to Edit, taking you to Edit, and then I go to Puppet Warp. Now when the Puppet Warp comes up, let me do Command plus and I'll zoom in on this. You can see it's going to make this mesh around your object. So the way that the Puppet Warp works is that anywhere I click, it's going to pin the object. So it won't move from there. So anywhere I want it to stay stationary, I pin. So now his neck right here, this is going to be the little hinge. So whatever one has the blue on it, the little blue dot, if I hold down Option, I get the little bent arrow, and then I can turn his neck down. So then I can have, some of my drafts have straight necks, some have curved necks. So I hit Return, and then zoom out. Now this one I could do the same thing. So just again, make sure on the Move tool, touch your draft layer. So this one, I will again go to Edit, and I go to Puppet Warp, and then I go ahead and first I pin him in place. So anywhere I pin, it's not going to move. So pin him in a few areas that I don't want to move, and then when I get to his neck, I pin, I get the blue dot, I hold down Option on the keyboard, or Alt if you're on the PC, and then I can move his neck down. Okay? And then let's say I want to do another one here, and then I can move his neck up. So, you know, I can play around with it. That's going to look a little bit unnatural if I do that way, but you know, if I pin him here, I can pull that away. So you can use it to pull or to swivel. So if I want to move his head up, I can go ahead and move his head up a little bit. Hit Return, and there we've got my giraffe in different areas. So now I'm going to do different color overlays on this because I do want to have it look very birthday card-esque, and I think that if I keep it in this color pattern, it's not going to be the best. But before I do the color overlays, I want to show you the Dodge and Burn tool. So if I go to my background layer, I can do shadows. And the way I do the shadows is I go up here to the Dodge tool looks like a little lollipop, and the Burn tool looks like a little hand. So I'm going to go to the Burn tool. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to shut off my my lock on that layer so I can go in and I can start doing my shadows. So I'm going to use the keyboard brackets again, and the right bracket is bigger and the left bracket smaller. And if I burn this, I can kind of burn in a shadow, and I can make it look like these guys just aren't floating, that they do have a little bit of a shadow. And you're going to get a little bit more finesse on this as it goes, and they'll look a little bit more natural. But go ahead and make it look like they actually have a little bit of a shadow there. There we go. You guys will do a better job. I'm just going very quick. I can also use this not only for shadows, but if I want to make it so it looks like there's a little bit of a light source on my objects. So if I go to my Rhino, and then I can burn a little of the edge here, so it looks a little bit darker underneath, like the sun is coming from here. I can do that here too. Remember, you got to be on the layer. If you're not on the layer, it's not going to know which area to darken. So let's darken a little bit. You got to be careful this not to do too much. And then the Dodge tool does the opposite. If I'm on, let me go to the Move tool, touch this Rhino. If I use the Dodge tool, it lightens an area. So depending on your project, like if I want that a little lighter there, I use the Dodge tool. Now we're going to move back, and then I go to the dodge tool again. All right. All right. So now we are ready to start doing some color overlays. So if I go to this rhino, we're going to just make this in birthday colors. So I can start making the rhino in a color overlay. So what I want to do is hold down Control on the keyboard, and then when I go over the image, I get a little square by hand. Like if I take it off, the move tool, when it goes over the layer, it turns into a little hand. So if I hold down Control, I get the square by the hand. If I click, it makes the rhino an active selection. Now I can go to the half circle, do a solid color, and then pick a color for a birthday color. It's going to be a color overlay on top. And then if I go up here where it says the blend mode is normal, if I go to multiply, we're going to be able to see the rhino back through. So now he's a pink rhino. So it's looking much more birthday-like. So I can go ahead, hold down Shift, select both layers, do a Command E. Let's make this one blue. Click on the layer to select the rhino layer, hold down Command, get the marching ants around that, go to the half circle, solid color, and we'll make him light blue. So again, it does not have the transparency. We got to go up here and go to multiply. Now hold down Shift, select both layers, do a Command E. So now, same thing with my giraffes. If I want my giraffes a new color, Command, select the giraffe, I'll make him yellow. Half circle, solid color, and I will, oops, you can't even see me change the color. Here I'm changing the color to yellow, change my blend mode to multiply. There we go. Hold down Shift, select both layers, do a Command E. So again, I'll make this one, I don't know what color we'll make him. We'll make this one green maybe? Alright. So go to the half circle, go to solid color, the green, go to multiply. And then this last one, oops, let's merge those layers. I don't want floating around layers. And then this one will be, I don't know, let's make another green one, or slightly more blue-green this time. All right, half circle, solid color. Hit OK, and remember, we got to do the multiply. Oops. Oops, there we go. Multiply, merge those layers. Hold down Shift, select both layers, do a Command E. Command E will merge the layers together. So now I've got my fireworks. If I want to kind of make a lot of fireworks, more of a celebration. Remember, I can always do a Command T, get the transform tool, and shrink them to their different sizes. So it doesn't just look like I duplicated one. And I can rotate it too, so they don't have to be just identical. Command T, and then you get the bent arrow, and you can rotate. Make it bigger. Return. I can put different, like if I try multiplying that, let's see how that looks. That doesn't do much. You can try the other blend modes if you want to. None of them are really affecting that. So, oh, because I'm on the wrong layer. Let's see. I hit the background. There we go. Multiply. Lighten. See, some of them are integrated more. Some of them are less integrated. Oh, that's nice. I like the different colors that made it. But you can play around with these, and some of them you might like better than others. All right, I'll do that just so it's a different color. The balloons. Let's see, just put those. Put those balloons. Got so many different things here. Lots of party. So let's put lots of balloons in there. Remember, same thing here. You want to make them a little different so it doesn't look like you just copied the exact same ones. Just play around with them a little bit. Stretch them, hold them, make them smaller, put them in different angles. Where I'm going to put that? Try there. All right, so we're almost ready for our. Oops, I'm going to lock that layer again. That background layer is always a little bit tricky for me, especially with these fireworks because they're just didn't cooperate that well. Oh, now I'm duplicating the background. To touch this firework, it's really a challenge. oops, I have 2 background layers. Let me get rid of one. And oh, I have to unlock it. There you go. There we go. Now it's ready. All right, so I could play around. I could put more color overlays. I could do less colors. It's up to me. So, but play around with it. Give everyone a party hat if you want. Party hats do help to make it look more birthday party. Definitely smaller. All right. So let me. If it doesn't line up perfectly, you can always nudge with the arrows on the keyboard to nudge it into shape. All right, so we've got our birthday party going on there. Use my regular erase tool just to get rid of those lines in the front. All right, so, and then we have our text. So I'm just going to go ahead and get my text tool. It's going to take a minute for the text to come up. There we go. Then I'm going to go through my text choices up here. We can always import a font if we wanted to, but I'm just going to go with something that we already have. This Super Mario one, I always like this one. So I'm going to go, oh, it's a little bit large. Go up here where it's got the size, make it smaller. Oops, too small. Still too small. Let's go to 4. There we go. And then I'm going to change my color to something very fun, purple. There we go. All right, so now select it from the back. All right, there we go. So you can play around with this. This is hard to read, so I'm going to go ahead and put a stroke on there. Go to the FX layer, go to stroke, and then you get this dialog box up. Always change it to outside, and then I can just give it a little more bold stroke. There we go. Now it's a little bit easier to read. All right. So I can play around with this if I want to tone down things in the background. I want to play around with it a little bit, add more characters. It's kind of up to me. But this is basically you're going to make a birthday card and a greeting card. You have to have the 7 different images. You have to use the color overlays. You got to use the puppet warp somewhere. I could put the puppet warp on here again too if I wanted to. Raise the rhino. You got to use the text. The stroke is optional. You don't have to use the stroke, but sometimes that looks nice. And if you have a big area that's a little bit hard to read, sometimes the stroke definitely helps. And then I also wanted to show you if you have an area where you want to use a drop shadow, just click on the object, go to the FX layer, and do drop shadow. And then the drop shadow up here, and then just increase the size. There we go. So you can see what's happening there. You can see a little bit of a, you gotta play around with a little bit, but you'll start to see the shadow there and play around with it. Okay? So, it's a little too big there. So play around with your drop shadow, get it just to be where you want it. Mine a little bit too big. There we go. I don't mind that. So once you have the drop shadow on, you're going to do it in other areas. Again, FX, drop shadow. And then I have one there. Anytime you use an object, or anytime you use one of the layer styles, it staves the settings the same, so you don't have to worry. It's in there. All right. So that's your assignment. You're going to do one birthday card, and then you're going to do one fantasy event that you're going to make up. So it could be, International, I don't know, Octopus Day, or some kind of crazy space age holiday. It can be from another planet. It could be a fantasy one. It's really up to you. So 2 of the cards, the descriptions are posted above. So make sure you make all the requirements for each one of the projects.